Right now, somewhere in your town, a service truck is rolling toward a driveway to collect $300 for a job that takes 10 minutes, one tool, and no training. It happens thousands of times a day, every summer, all across the country. And the only reason it works is that nobody ever showed the homeowner where to look. I'm Walt Brenner. I'm a retired HVAC pro, 30 years in basements, attics, and boiler rooms for the same companies I'm about to tell you about. Today, I'm handing you 5 of those jobs. Real fixes, the exact same ones the truck performs, minus the invoice. No special tools, nothing from behind a license, just the parts of this trade that were never complicated to begin with. 2 of them your system probably needs this very week, and you'll know which 2 before we're halfway through. And I saved the biggest for last, because it's a 15-minute habit that catches the $8,000 to $12,000 failure while it's still a $100 fix. Fair warning, one of these I'm going to tell you when not to touch, because that's how we do things in this workshop. Number 1. The clogged drain line, the most profitable 10 minutes in this trade. Your air conditioner pulls gallons of water out of your air every day, 5, 10, 20 gallons in humid weather. All of it leaves through one skinny plastic pipe, usually a white PVC line running from the indoor unit to a drip spot outside. Dark, damp, and never cleaned, that pipe is paradise for algae. It grows in there all summer, like the inside of a forgotten thermos. Sooner or later, it clogs, the pan backs up, and your system either shuts itself off, if the float switch we've talked about is doing its job, or starts dripping through a ceiling if it isn't. Guess which houses call on a Sunday? The call for that reads $150 to $300. Here's what the tech actually does. He walks outside, finds the end of that pipe, and sucks the clog out with a shop vacuum. 60 seconds of vacuum. That's the job. And here's the part that stings. On a lot of those visits, the clog gets cleared, but nobody mentions the once-a-month trick that stops it coming back. Because a repeat customer is the best customer there is. You can do the same thing. Find the line outside. It usually pokes out near the outdoor unit or drips by a basement drain, and it's the only white plastic pipe doing nothing but dripping. Cup the shop vac hose over the end with a rag for a seal, run it 2 or 3 minutes, and listen for the slug of gunk hitting the canister. Then, at the indoor unit, find the little vent opening in that pipe, the T-fitting with a cap, and pour in a cup of plain white vinegar. Do the vinegar once a month all summer, and the clog never comes back. No shop vac, no problem. A wet rag and patience clears most of them. 10 minutes, and you just kept the single most common summer service call off your invoice forever. Number 2 is even simpler, and it's hiding in your backyard. Number 2, washing the outdoor coil, the $200 rinse. Walk out to your outdoor unit and look at the metal fins wrapping around it. Their whole job is throwing the heat from your house into the outside air. Now look closer. Cottonwood fluff, grass clippings from every mow, dust, dryer lint if the vent's nearby. Every season packs that blanket tighter, and a smothered coil can't dump heat. A smothered coil means the system runs longer, the bill creeps up 10 or 20%, and the compressor cooks inside its own jacket. Think of it as running a marathon in a winter coat. The machine finishes the race, but it ages 3 summers in one. On the service menu, fixing this is called a condenser coil cleaning, $150 to $400, and it's on nearly every tune-up upsell sheet in the country. Here's the actual job. Kill the power at the little disconnect box on the wall next to the unit. Just pull the block or flip the switch. That part is not optional. Then take your garden hose, normal pressure, no pressure washer ever, because those fins bend like foil, and a bent fin is worse than a dirty one. Rinse from the inside out if the top panel lifts off easily, or gently from outside at a low angle if it doesn't. Straight water, No fancy foaming chemicals needed for a residential unit. The gray blanket slides off, the fins go shiny, power back on, done. 15 minutes, twice a summer. First rinse when the cottonwood stops flying. While you're standing there, give the unit 2 feet of clear breathing room. Pull the shrubs back, rake the leaves out, move the trash cans. A unit boxed in by landscaping is choking on its own exhaust, breathing back the same hot air it just threw out. And look up while you're at it. A deck, a low roof overhang, anything capping the top of that unit traps the heat plume and sends it right back down through the coil. That unit needs open sky the way a chimney does. If you'd rather hear about this stuff before the truck rolls than after, subscribe, because that's the entire point of this channel. Stop right there, because 2 in, you can already see the shape of this thing. Vinegar and a garden hose. That's the toolbox so far. Nothing on this list needs a license, a gauge, or a single part, and that's exactly why nobody explains it. A 10-minute job you can do is worthless to a service menu. The same job with a truck in the driveway is $300, and the less you know about the difference, the better the menu performs. And I want to be fair about something. The tech in that truck isn't the villain. He's got a route sheet and a quota somebody upstairs wrote. The menu is the villain. The menu prices the drive, the uniform, and the clipboard, and it counts on you not knowing which lines on it are trade school and which lines are a cup of vinegar. Watch how it holds for the last 3. And stay with me, because the last one is the habit that catches 5-figure failures while there's still pocket change. Number 3, the reset nobody tells you about. And this is where I've got to be straight with you, even though it costs me a little, because that's how we do things in this workshop. A big share of no-cool calls on the hottest days of the year end with the tech doing one of 3 things: flipping a breaker, pressing a reset, or swapping thermostat batteries. The diagnostic fee for that visit reads $89 to $150 plus the wait, sweating through an afternoon in line behind every other house in town. I watched it from inside the truck for 30 years. The tech knows before he rings the bell, because on a heat wave day, half the board is the same 3 culprits. And he'll be kind about it. Most of them are. But kindness doesn't come off the invoice. So before you ever dial, run this list. Thermostat first, fresh batteries, screen alive, actually set to cool, because a family member changes settings more often than you'd think. Breaker panel second. Find the 2 breakers marked AC or condenser and furnace or air handler. If one's tripped, push it fully off, then firmly on. Third, that float switch we talked about in the filter video, the little safety on the drain pan. If it tripped, your drain line is clogged, and you already know the vinegar fix from number 1. Run those 3 checks, and you've just performed the first page of every diagnostic in the trade, for free, in your slippers. Now, the honest part. And hear me clearly. If that breaker trips again within the hour, stop. A breaker that keeps tripping is protecting you from something real. A grounded compressor, a burned wire, and resetting it over and over can turn a repair into a fire. Same rule for anything behind the electrical panel cover or anything involving refrigerant. That's licensed work, full stop, and the fee for it is honest money. This channel is about knowing the difference, not pretending there isn't one. 1 reset, 1 fix, 1 time. If the problem comes back, make the call and tell them exactly what you found, because that knowledge cuts your diagnostic time in half. Speaking of what things cost, number 4 comes with a receipt. Number 4, the maintenance plan. versus the $20 version of it. Every company in town will sell you a comfort club. 2 visits a year, priority scheduling, a discount coupon, usually $200 to $350 annually. And on the visit, a checklist with 30 impressive lines on it. Some of those 30 lines are real work. Most of them are theater. Inspected this, verified that. Items that mean a man looked at a part and found it still bolted on. Here's the arithmetic. Strip the 30 lines down, and the part that actually protects your equipment is this: a clean filter, a clean outdoor coil, a clear drain, tight breathing room, and about 10 minutes of real measurement. Pressures, temperatures, amp draws. Everything on that first list, you now do yourself. The filter costs $4 to $8. The vinegar costs $2. The water is free. Call it $20 a year. The plan charges you $300, and on plenty of them, the visit doubles as a sales appointment, where the checklist finds you a soft part to replace. But those 10 minutes of real measurement, that part has value, because a gauge sees what your eyes can't. So here's how you buy only the part that matters. Once a year, before the heat arrives, book a single standalone tune-up from an independent shop, $80 to $150, no membership. And use the sentence. Say, "Give me the readings written down, pressures, temperatures, capacitor values, amp draws." Numbers on paper turn a sales visit back into an inspection, and they build a history that makes next year's diagnosis faster and cheaper. Do the math over 10 years. The club costs you $2,500 to $3,500. The independent measured visit costs about $1,000. Same protection, better paperwork, $2,500 still yours. $20 of your time, one honest measured visit. That's the whole plan. And it sets up number 5, the habit that makes it all stick. Number 5, and here's the big one I promised, the 15-minute walk-around that catches 5-figure failures while they're still small. Everything dramatic that ever happens to an air conditioner sends out quiet invitations first. The trade knows this. That's what the measured tune-up is. But between visits, nobody is watching your system except you, and most of the warnings don't need a gauge to catch. They need eyes, ears, and a hand. So here's the walk. First Saturday of every month, cooling season. Outside first. Listen to the unit start. One smooth hum. No rattle, no grind, no hesitation before the fan spins. Look at the 2 copper lines going into the house. The fat one should wear its foam sleeve, and sweating or frost on it means an airflow or refrigerant problem brewing. Check your 2 feet of clearance. Check the unit sits level. A tilted pad strains the compressor bearings year after year. Inside next. Filter, you know that one. Ice on the indoor unit, any at all. Ice is never normal, not once, not a little. Water in or around the drain pan. Then the vents. Put your hand on the coldest register in the house, and once a season, lay a cheap $10 thermometer on it. Air coming out should run 15 to 20 degrees colder than the room air going in. When that gap shrinks, something's slipping. Low refrigerant, weak airflow, a tired blower. Months before it becomes a Friday afternoon breakdown in line behind 40 other houses. And use your nose. A hot electrical smell near the indoor unit. A musty smell from the vents. Either one goes in the notebook the day you catch it. Anything odd, write it down with a date. That notebook is worth more than any warranty you own. A hesitating start is a $200 part while it's hesitating, and a $3,000 compressor after it stops. Frost on a line is a leak found early, or a coil replacement found late. The $8,000 to $12,000 conversation almost never comes out of nowhere. It comes out of 18 quiet months nobody was looking. 15 minutes a month, that's the whole price of never being surprised. So there's your 5. And notice something. The truck charges $300 a visit, and your whole toolbox was a shop vac, vinegar, a garden hose, batteries, and a Saturday habit. Clear the drain and feed it vinegar. Rinse the coil and give it room. Run the reset list once before you dial. Buy the measurements, skip the membership. And walk the system monthly with a notebook. Add it up. Maybe $40 a year in supplies and one honest measured visit, against the 3 service calls a year the average neglected system generates. That's better than $1,000 a summer staying in your pocket, for less effort than mowing the lawn once. Now, everything on this list came down to one thing: keeping your money instead of handing it to a service truck. But fixing what you've got is only half of it. The other half is needing the grid less to begin with. Less power to buy, less heat to make, less cool to chase. There's a set of plans I point people to for exactly that, and I'll put them on the screen for a second. If you want to power, heat, and cool your home off-grid, the Passive House files show you how. Full plans, exact materials, and the honest numbers nobody else gives you. It is not too late to start lowering your bill. Scan the QR code and see for yourself. All right, one last thing before you go. None of these 5 is a secret. They're in every manual nobody reads, and any honest tech will confirm every word. They're just never volunteered, because a company earns nothing teaching you a vinegar trick and earns $300 not teaching it. Not every company works this way. There are good, honest techs out there, plenty of them, and the good ones respect a customer who's done the walkaround. But the way the money flows, it rewards your ignorance, not your maintenance. So do something for me. Down in the comments, tell me 2 things: what your last service call cost, and what the fix turned out to be. I read every one, and I'll tell you straight whether that visit was honest work or a vinegar job with a markup. And hit subscribe if this just paid for itself a few times over. Because next time, we flip the table. 5 mistakes HVAC companies genuinely love watching you make, because every single one of them ends with you on the phone, booking the call they've been waiting for. I'm Walt Brenner. Keep it running, and I'll see you in the next one.